Hi everybody, today we're going to be doing a quick tutorial on my salted caramel pumpkin cake pops. It's fall outside now and pumpkin is absolutely a fall flavor, and so cake pops are an awesome treat. So let's get started. What you see here is me mixing my salted caramel candy melts. This is the brand I use here, Sweet Collection by Make and Mold. You can get these at Hobby Lobby for about $4 a bag. It has a really good taste. I'm really not big on using flavored candy melts, but this one I have found it's a really nice flavor and it's really smooth. I don't have to add any coconut oil or vegetable oil to thin it out or anything like that. I really like it and it has a really good taste. I use this for a few different flavor cake pops. So I've already melted that and have it nice and ready. I've got my pumpkin pound cake broken up already. I made a pumpkin pound cake and then I just broke up the cake here. The very first thing I did was wash my hands, so don't worry, my hands are clean. As I put my hand all in this cake, but it's nice and moist. I have some caramel here that I'm gonna, almost lost it, that I'm gonna break off small pieces and roll together to put in the center of my cake pops. My cake pop sticks or any type of treats that you want to use it for. My stand, and then I've got some buttercream that I made yesterday. I've got a plate over here with some parchment paper on it for after I make my cake pop balls so that I can put my stick in it and let the stick dry in the cake. So the first thing I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to cut the tip off of this bag here. We're going to put some buttercream in our cake. I don't have a lot of cake here, so I don't need a ton of buttercream. Plus, my cake is already really moist. I like to use a fork, using the back of the fork, and work that buttercream around in my cake. And just like that. You can move your bowl in circular motions to kind of make sure you get all the cake mixed in with the frosting. You don't want any dry bits of cake when you roll up your balls for your cake pops. Alrighty. I'm gonna leave that there for just a second. I need one other thing, which is my large cookie scoop. I use this to make sure that all my cake pop balls are the same size, roughly the same size anyway. And I make pretty large cake pops just because I like to sell them like that. I always get really good reviews for the size and the taste of my cake pops. I just want to keep mixing this. We're almost done. You see the consistency of the cake. You want to be able to, the cake stays together just like that. So we just about got all of the frosting mixed in. All right. Doesn't take long at all when you don't have a lot of cake. This could take a little bit longer. Let me rub that down the side like that and get that cake and frosting down there with everything else. Could take a little bit longer when you have more cake, but that's not the story today. All right. So the first thing, or the next thing rather, that I want to do, let's go ahead and sit that down because I don't need that fork anymore. So we want to break off just little bits of caramel like that and roll it in a ball. You don't want too much, but you want enough About like that. They may be a little too much for the center of the cake pop. You don't want it to be overpowering because you've also got caramel on the outside. So about like that. And that's about a little smaller than a Dum Dum sucker. Alrighty. Alright. So there's 2 of those. You want to use your scoop. Until your cookie scoop is just a little bit overflowed. Release that into your hand. You'll know that you've got enough frosting in it if your cake is staying together. All right, so I kind of roll mine oblong first to kind of make sure my cake is together. Roll it in a circle, just like that. I use my thumb to make a pit for my caramel. Stick my caramel in there, and then I start folding the cake around the caramel. And then we want to mold it back into a ball. Just like that. And then I'll take my cake pop, sit it over there. And then I'll do another one like this. You don't want it to overflow your cookie scoop too much. Try to get as much of it out of it as you can. All right, again, oblong, like that. Into a ball, make a pit, caramel, fold it over, and roll it into a ball. All right, we want to take our cake pop stick, dip it into our salted caramel until you have a little over about 1 inch of caramel on your cake pop stick, and just stick it down gently into the cake ball. And I've got a little caramel on that stick. I'll get it off. Again. And then stick it down in our cake ball like that. You can kind of feel it going into the caramel in the center, but you don't want to press too hard because you don't want that cake ball or the cake stick to come through the other end of the cake ball. So I'm going to leave those right there for the caramel to harden the stick inside of the cake, and then we'll be back and we'll dip our cake pops. Alrighty, so now we've got all of our pumpkin cake pops dipped. Again, I've still got this caramel on the stick, and I'll use a warm paper towel to get that completely off here in just a moment. But we've got our salted caramel here, and we're just going to go ahead and dip our cake pop. We want to tilt this sideways because we don't want to just dunk it down in there. I'm just going to roll it and then turn it sideways and just kind of wipe it off on the side here. You don't want to shake it because you'll cause lines to form in your salted caramel. But we've got a nice cake pop here. We just want to go ahead and sit it here to dry. And then we'll go ahead and do this one. Yep, normally you could just dunk it down all the way in there, but there's not enough chocolate or candy melts in here to do that. All right. There we go. So that's how I make my salted caramel pumpkin cake pops. All right, thank you for joining our channel. Click like, subscribe, and click share.